When you approach a situation from the beginning, it can be really hard to know what metrics are important and what matters. You probably have e-commerce metrics, you have website analytics, you have shopping platform, you have transaction data, you have accounting statements with cash flows. You have all these different numbers and stuff, things out there, and it can feel like this cloud of information. All we're trying to do right now is understand what we have that we could potentially use.
As you go through this lesson, you'll build up your own spreadsheet model, and it'll have a few sheets in it. You'll end up with the summary sheet with some graphs and big numbers. Then there's the model, which is like numbers changing over time with lots of maths. You might have a best or worst case scenario alternative, and a whole bunch of messy notes where you list your assumptions. Now the pretty graph is like the fun bit that we get to right at the end. We're going to start with some rough notes.
So we're going to start just by outlining all the things that are important about the business we want to model. And we're going to start this with a note sheet. So we're really just trying to understand the different things that we know about our business and our goals we're going to there. We're not trying to create something that is highly structured, immediately laid out. We're really just trying to get an idea of where we're at. I usually start by just putting numbers on a sheet. Right? I don't care about creating structure. I don't care about linking things together. I don't care about formatting. I don't care about any of that. All I care about is figure out what's out there. Brainstorming is a great way to think about this. The simplest way to start with this is to think about these like 4 key buckets. The key unit economics, meaning the prices and costs for the thing we're selling. So our growth channels and growth metrics. So the constraints we're operating under, cash burn, cash on hand, current customers, as well as our big goals. How much shirts we're looking to sell, how much revenue we're looking to make, how much profit we're looking to share. If I'm selling this product right now, I probably have an idea of how much revenue I made last month. I may know how many of these I've sold. I may know how many pre-orders I have. I may have an idea of my initial price. I may have a quote from a manufacturer in terms of how much something's going to cost. I may have some detail about email signups or some web traffic. I have all this data out there, so I'm really just trying to write these numbers down so I can figure out how to link things together later. And so we're going to start with this sheet just by putting down the things that are important to us, some numbers and metrics we know. We know that we're selling it for $21. We know that the cost to produce it is $7. We know that we want to give away 20% of our profits, right? And we're not really worried about structure here. We're just looking to get our thoughts down on paper. We know that the constraints, we currently burn about $1,000 a month in our total operating expenses. Cash burn is basically just how much cash you spend every month. Burn is commonly thought of as the amount of money you spend over a month. There's many different ways to express this. The simplest way to do this is just think about cash out. We know that we're starting with about $25,000 cash on hand. We know that we had 100 customers last month. We know that we sold 125 shirts last month. You know, we also have some idea of our goals. We know that we want to sell 1,000 shirts over the next month. We know they want to make $250,000 in revenue over the next, next 12 months. And we know we want to give away about 20% of that to our partners. Or we know that we want to break even within the next 12 months. Thinking about how much do I have to sell in order to break even on my costs, we can build really complicated growth forecasts to try to say this is how much we have to grow over time to get to a break even under a certain set of assumptions. Oftentimes people can be very simple about this and say, hey, it's going to cost X number of dollars for me to build this thing to start with. It's going to cost X to market it. I'm going to make Y every time I sell one. The amount I need to make break even can be very simply expressed by cost divided by margin, and that's it. So now it's given us a basic idea of the things that we kind of care about. Now on the metric side, our conversion rate over the past, we're averaging about 3% conversion rate. Conversion rate usually means the number of website sessions that converts into an action we're looking someone to take. So in the context of e-commerce, typically we're looking for conversion rate to a sale. In other contexts, this could refer to conversion rate to an email signup. It could be conversion rate to creating a user account. It could be conversion rate to downloading a product or downloading an app, maybe downloading a white paper, whatever this is. But within this context, we're trying to say the conversion rate from a website session into a sale. We also know that the price per shirt is $21, but we also know that when people order, they order 2 shirts per order. And so we're just going to add in a new line here. An assumption is say shirts purchased per order, right? We're not trying to find all of the details. We're not trying to get lost in all the details that are available out there. Don't be worried about having a bunch of numbers that don't make immediate sense. Don't worry about trying to make sense of everything right from the very beginning. Don't worry about digging into every single level of detail you can have. Actually, the most important thing is just to get started, to see what's important. And then as you continue to get more experienced or comfortable, you can continue to refine the numbers over time. But don't worry about that from the beginning.